Welcome back. Now over to Kelly Snyder with your 5-day weather forecast.
Although we've seen a hint of sunshine, don't get too excited. For the rest of the day, we still expect a chance of wet flurries with a high of 3 and a low of -3. For Friday, there's a 40% chance of flurries, but we still expect a mix of sun and cloud with a high of +1 and a low of -3. As we head into the weekend on Saturday, there's a 40% chance of flurries with a high -2 and a low of -5. For Sunday, there's only a 30% chance of flurries with a high -2 and a low of -6. We start off next week with sunshine. Expect sun on Monday with a high of +1 and a low of -9. That's your 5-day weather forecast. Now back to the newsroom.
Thanks, Kelly. There are now 8 confirmed cases of E. coli poisoning linked to beef in frozen burgers recalled last week. The Public Health Agency of Canada says the latest case is a person from Saskatchewan. The agency says this case is linked to recalled gourmet meat shop Big and Juicy frozen beef burgers, which had been distributed across the majority of the country. They say other confirmed cases include 4 people in Ontario, 2 in Alberta, and 1 in Manitoba.
In his latest report, the Parliamentary Budget Officer is targeting the Conservatives due to the current status of their long-delayed supply ship program. Budget Officer Kevin Page says the program to replace the Navy's 2 45-year-old supply ships is not affordable. He says it is expected to cost just over $4 billion. That's far short of the $2.6 billion budgeted by the Harper government. First ordered by the Paul Martin government in 2004, the shipyard proposals were deemed too expensive by the Harper government in 2008, and the project went back to square one. Replacement ships are not expected until 2018.
The Pope has left the building. On the final day of his papacy, Pope Benedict was taken to nearby papal retreat by helicopter. He says now he will simply be a pilgrim. Benedict is the first pope to resign in nearly 600 years. 115 cardinals are responsible for choosing the next pope.
The Obama administration has announced additional aid to Syrian opposition forces. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry announced the new support at an international conference on Syria in Rome. The opposition will receive an additional $60 million in assistance. And for the first time since fighting broke out in Syria, support could come in the form of defensive military hardware. Kerry says Syrian President Bashar Assad is out of time and must be out of power.
American billionaire Dennis Tito has launched a plan to send a married couple to Mars. Tito's foundation, called Inspiration Mars, is planning for a 501-day journey in 2018. It's in the process of selecting a couple so that both boys and girls have someone to look up to. Tito says the inflatable module that would transport the pair will be purchased from Canada. Organizers will need to tackle challenges such as dangerous levels of radiation, life support systems, and ensure the vehicle can safely re-enter Earth's atmosphere at high speeds.
And now with your sports news, here's Andrew Millichamp.
The CCAA starts today for badminton, and the Humber Hawks are well represented. 5 Hawks will make the trip to Barrie to compete at Nationals. Tim Chu is the OCAA champion in men's singles and was the bronze medalist in 2011 when he attended George Brown. Tracy Wong, who won a bronze in women's singles last year, is back, but this time in women's doubles. She's partnering with Renee Yip. And in mixed doubles, Ryan Chow and Susie Ann round out the field for Humber. The OCAA championships are also starting today for both the men and women's basketball teams. The men will be tipping off against the Seneca Sting tonight. The Hawks finished the season 14-6, which was good enough for 4th in the Western Conference. While the Sting are the top-ranked team from the East, their record is only marginally better at 17-3. The Humber men had won the last 3 OCAA championships before a disappointing silver last year. For the women, they'll hoop it up against St. Lawrence. The women finished this year with a 12-6 record and will be the underdog versus a 15-3 St. Lawrence team. The Hawks will have home court advantage, though, as they're hosting this year's OCAAs. After a dismal showing last night in a 5-2 loss to the Montreal Canadiens, the Leafs will look to right the ship in New York against the Islanders. The Leafs were completely outplayed last night, giving up 40 shots on Ben Scrivens. The Leafs may be in luck, though, as starting goalie James Reimer was activated from the injury reserve last night. Reimer may see action tonight as Scrivens has played 8 straight. Reimer is 6-3 on the season with a .929 save percentage and a 2.31 goals against average. The Leafs are still tied for 6th with 24 points, while the Islanders are in 12th with only 17 points on the season. There are 10 other games in the NHL tonight. Outside of the Leafs, there are 4 other Canadian teams in action. Ottawa heads to Beantown to face off against the Bruins. Both teams are tied for 4th in the East. The Jets will host the New Jersey Devils. The Devils sit in 6th while the Jets are on the outside of the playoff picture looking in, currently tied for 9th. Out on the West Coast, the Oilers are in Dallas hoping to knock off the 7th place Stars, while Calgary is in Colorado against the woeful Avalanche. Both Edmonton and Calgary are tied for 12th, but only 3 points out of the playoffs at this point. The Raptors came up lame last night, losing 103-92. The Raps gave up 37 points in the second quarter and were never able to get back into it. Raps coach Dwayne Casey was not impressed.
We decided to play defense the second half, and it's too late. You give a 37-point quarter, and what we're playing for and what's at stake right now is too many points.
The Jays got hammered yesterday by the Houston Astros in spring training, 10-1. The lone bright spot was a solo home run by Jays catcher J.P. Arancibia. They have the day off today before playing the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow. That's it for sports. Now back to the newsroom.
Thanks, Andrew. Potato parties are a new fad in Asia among teens. McDonald's in both Japan and South Korea recently lowered its price of a large French fry to around $1.50 US. The cheap cost has caused teens to purchase large orders with their friends and have French fry feasts. These kids in a South Korea McDonald's purchased around $250 US worth of French fries. A McDonald's worker was furious and told the kids to leave the restaurant. In Japan, there have also been complaints to McDonald's corporate office, ranging from annoyance to concerns of unsanitary conditions because of these gatherings.
That's all for Humber News for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jesse Baines.
And I'm Katie Boyven. Humber News is written and produced by journalism students at the North Campus. You can also catch us on YouTube. We'll see you next time.